Our beloved analog artifacts are an important part of our daily life as they inspire our creative endeavors. Keeping those tools and artifacts well organized keep the flow of inspiration going for the Baum-kuchen team. Come join us as we share with you some of our favorite storage systems and ideas. For me, a clean and clutter-free desk and work area are really important. I notice that when I have too many artifacts staring at me, it can oftentimes make me feel overwhelmed. I love keeping them organized and tucked away so I know exactly where they are when I need them. One of my favorite storage and organization systems is the mini toolbox by Classiky. People usually comment on how cute it is, but they wonder what could possibly be stored in this tiny box. I always tell people not to be fooled by its size. I usually keep it close by and store the artifacts I reach for often, but at the same time want to keep hidden away, such as my whiteout, glue stick, tape runner, address stamp, and stapler, so I'm not rummaging around inside my desk to find them. The contents of what I put inside changes by need occasionally. There are times when I prefer to write on the kitchen table while the TV is on, or when I want to be in a different space. For moments like this, I put a few of the artifacts I want to use and carry it with me downstairs. Another current favorite that I discovered lately is repurposing used up candle jars. Oftentimes I will receive a really special or beautiful candle as a gift. When I have finished enjoying the candle for its intended purpose, I have a hard time just throwing it away or putting it in the recycling bin, as the candle was usually gifted by someone who is dear to me. I have found that these candle jars, when cleaned out, make for a really beautiful and functional storage for pens and other analog artifacts. It also makes me feel really resourceful at the same time while giving the gift I received another life. I believe one space is such a special area where we dream, imagine, and create, but also find inspiration for our everyday lives.
As many people would have guessed within moments of knowing me, is that I own a lot of stationery, and I love it. Though through the years of hoarding, I have matured and started to discover and keep the things that I know I'll use and enjoy. One of my favorite ways to store stationery is on a rolling tiered cart. The cart is sorted top down from things I often use and to things that I use a bit less often. The first tier contains my notebook, sketchbooks, pens, and other stationery that I'll have access very often. Some of these notebooks are not on active duty, but I like to keep them there because seeing them makes me happy. I also keep a lot of postcards handy as I send them out on a regular basis. The second tier holds things I use for wrapping gifts or orders. Here lies washi tape, twine, ribbons, and wax sticks. Having these tools on my cart is great because I can wrap and work around the apartment conveniently. And then the last tier holds supplies and accessories that are not often used, such as wires for my laptop and watercolor tubes or scraps of paper. This tier is still maturing into its role, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. Because I live in an apartment where space is a real estate, it's great to be able to have it by my desk, but also nice to tuck it away when guests are over or if I'm hiding something. It's also a convenient way to allow me to play with my analog tools anywhere in my home.
Hi, this is Nerine sharing how I organize my analog tools at my house. I recently watched Marie Kondo's series and I love her tidying method. My organization is inspired by her way of keeping what only brings joy and having my favorite supplies visually organized in a category. I brought my small glimpse of analog system to the BK studio so I could share my method. At our home, we have a cabinet that stores extra school supplies, books, and board games. I designated a shelf that stores my beloved journals and analog tools. Eunice gave me these cute acrylic storage containers and I absolutely love them. I store my favorite tapes, notepads, cards, and stamps. I love seeing what's in them and can easily access them. Next to them, I have my pouches so they are easy to grab when I'm on the go or have a few moments to work on my Hobonichi on the dining room table. When I get ready to head out to my kids' baseball games or practice, I could quickly take my favorite engineer pouch with pockets, fill them with tapes and stamps so I could sit and relax during warm-ups before a game or at practice. I love color coordinating my journal pages depending on the season, and have everything visually accessible helps me pick the analog ingredients with just the perfect vibe. I use mini engineer pouch to help separate the small items in the large engineer pouch. With my busy life on the go from one baseball field to another, it's important for me that my love for analog can keep up with the pace of life. I am sure a lot of busy moms out there can relate. Having a system that allows analog moments to happen on the go has made sure that I could still journal and reflect on my life no matter where I'm at.
Hello from my BK home. It's Wakako here. I'm excited to share a glimpse of our home and our analog storage system. Frito found this beautiful vintage desk for my last birthday, and it has been so nice to finally have a space in our house where I could go to journal, write letters, and also work on my BK related tasks on my laptop. I don't own a lot of analog artifacts, and I try to keep it simple and tidy because my space is limited and it is often shared with the rest of our family. Frito occasionally works at this desk when he has his workday at home. Sachi and I light a candle every night to journal, and Coco knows where to find our special tapes that are stored. My very first recommendation for analog storage is to only get what you will actually use today, and not overstore what you might use in the future. Having less helps me to actually use what I own, and it's a nice feeling to be able to put my favorite stationery into work, whether I'm writing on my personal journal page or sending a snail mail to a friend. Don't save the favorites, love them by using them. After reading and watching Tidying Up with Marie Kondo, I realized that it would be so grounding to have a dedicated space for all my analog ingredients and tools, a place where they can feel honored even when they are stored away. I have a drawer for my tapes and a portable drawer for my letter writing supplies. It's messy in there, but I know what's inside. I use Classiky desk toolbox for organizing my rubber stamps. Atelier's Penelope cylinder tote for keeping my notepads vertically, and a vintage enamel container for all things wax seal. When letter writing and journaling time become family activity, having all the tools in the portable containers is super useful. When girls ask to do wax seal, I just carry the wax seal container, and I know I have everything we need. No need to go back and forth between my desk and our dining table where we would be working together. My wish for our BK community will be that your analog storage to be simple and easy, so you can spend more time playing with your analog supplies and ingredients and less time looking for what you need. Cheers to your analog adventure.